This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, UST edges LaSalle in 5-set thriller, while Adamson dominates UE as the action continues in UAAP Season 87 volleyball. Tabuena trails by 5 in New Zealand Open as Yuan and Co. set early pace. TNT braces for another gritty showdown as Reyes expects rain or shine to fight back. Boxing edges closer to the 2028 Olympics as the IOC bats World Boxing. In the NBA, the Pistons stunned the Celtics to extend their win streak to 8. While the Beard, James Harden, catches fire as the Clippers snap a skid with a victory over the Bulls. And we have high-performance coach Erwin Valencia to talk about what it takes to bring out the best in some of the planet's greatest athletes. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 27th of February. Now here's our roundup. The University of Santo Tomas Golden Tigers has secured a dramatic 5-set victory over the De La Salle University Lady Spikers 25-12, 22-25, 13-25, 25-23, 15-13 in the UAAP Season 87 Women's Volleyball Tournament at the Mall of Asia Arena. With the match tied at 11-all in the deciding set, a costly error by LaSalle handed UST the crucial lead. Reg Jurado found an opening to push the Tigresses to match point before a double contact violation on LaSalle sealed the win. Angge Poyos led UST with 28 points off 24 attacks, 3 blocks, and an ace, while Jurado contributed 17 points. Despite the loss, Angel Canino shined for LaSalle with 25 points, while Shivana Laput added 18 points. The Lady Spikers dropped to 1-2, while UST improved to 2-1. In the earlier match, the Adamson University Lady Falcons swiftly overpowered the UE Lady Warriors in straight sets 25-20, 25-15, 25-12. Rookie Shaina Nitura delivered a stellar 18-point performance, with Frances Mordy adding 11 points to help Adamson bounce back and improve to 2-1. UE's Nessa Bangayan and KC Cepada chipped in 11 and 10 points, respectively, as the Lady Warriors remained winless at 0-3. Now, with these results, UST and Adamson continue their strong campaigns in both divisions, while UE searches for their first win of the season. Miguel Tabuena put together a solid stretch with 3 straight birdies from number 11. But the Filipino star still finds himself 5 shots off the lead at the New Zealand Open, as Australia's Kevin Yuan and Korea's Guntae Ko fired red-hot 64s to set the early tempo. Playing at the Coronet course, Tabuena opened his round with a bogey on number 5, but quickly recovered with a flawless run from numbers 11 to 13. Unfortunately, he couldn't build on that momentum, settling for pars the rest of the way to card a 2-under-69. The $2 million tournament, part of the Asian Tour, is played across 2 courses, Coronet and Remarkables, with low scores flooding the leaderboard. Tabuena finds himself in a logjam at 54th place alongside 22 other golfers, including former Asian Tour #1 Jazz Janewattanond and Australians Brad Kennedy and Jack Thompson. Utilizing a stifling defense to grab a 1-0 lead over rain or shine, TNT knows that it can't afford to ease up as the PBA Commissioner's Cup semifinals continues, with Game 2 set for Friday, tomorrow night at the Phil Sports Arena. Despite a tough night from import Ronde Hollis Jefferson, who struggled with his shot but contributed elsewhere, TNT relied on its lockdown defense to secure an 88-84 win in Game 1. Coach Chot Reyes acknowledged that the team expected offensive challenges, with Calvin Oftana coming off Gilas duties, so defense was the difference maker. Rain or shine had their chances building a 37-28 lead and stifling Hollis Jefferson early. But a late-game collapse missing 11 straight shots in the last 6 minutes sealed their fate. Adding to their woes, 22 turnovers kept TNT in control. Now, despite his shooting struggles, Hollis Jefferson still posted 23 points, 13 boards, and 4 blocks, while Jason Castro and Oftana stepped up with a combined 46 points, including 12 of TNT's 14 triples. Can TNT lock in a commanding 2-0 lead, or will rain or shine storm back to even the series? Expect another intense clash as the semifinals heats up tomorrow night. The road to Los Angeles 2028 just got brighter for boxing as the International Olympic Committee has provisionally recognized World Boxing as the sport's governing body for future games. This marks a major shift after the IOC cut ties with the International Boxing Association over governance and ethical issues. With boxing currently excluded from the 2028 Olympic program, IOC President Thomas Bach previously warned that the sport needed a reliable international partner to secure its place. In response, World Boxing, founded in 2023 and supported by 78 nations, has stepped up to fill the void. The organization includes major boxing powerhouses like the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Australia, and Brazil. World Boxing President Boris Vanderhorst hailed the IOC's decision and sees this decision as a step closer to seeing boxing restored to the Olympic program. In the NBA, the red-hot Detroit Pistons continue their surge, dismantling defending champions Boston 117-97 on Wednesday to stretch their NBA winning streak to 8 games while snapping the Celtics' 6-game run. Malik Beasley led the charge with 26 points off the bench, hitting 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. Cade Cunningham added a stellar double-double with 21 points and 11 assists, orchestrating a Pistons defense that forced 19 Celtics turnovers, leading to 24 easy points. Boston erased an early 15-point deficit to tie the game at 55 by halftime, but Detroit locked in defensively in the third, outscoring the Celtics to build a commanding 90-79 lead heading into the final quarter. Jason Tatum scored 27 points for the Celtics, who played without all-star Jaylen Brown. Meanwhile, James Harden found his groove when it mattered most, pouring in 27 of his 30 points after halftime to help the Los Angeles Clippers edge out the Chicago Bulls 122-117. Amir Coffey chipped in 20 points as 6 Clippers scored in double figures to end a 3-game losing streak. Kawhi Leonard, back in action after missing 2 games with foot soreness, added 17 points, while Derek Jones Jr. dropped 16. Bogdan Bogdanovic contributed 14 points, and Ivica Zubac notched a double-double with 10 points and 10 boards. Chicago had momentum early, but the Clippers took control when Josh Giddey drilled a 3 to put them up 85-83 with 4 minutes and 39 left in the third. From there, it was all Los Angeles as they outscored the Bulls 19-8 to build a cushion. The Bulls made a push in the final minutes, closing the gap to just 2 points after a Kevin Huerter layup with 4 minutes and 14 left. But when it came time to deliver, Harden did just that, sealing the deal with a clutch step-back 3 with 14 seconds remaining. And here are more results from around the NBA. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. Do you know what a feint is in boxing? A feint is a strategic move where a fighter fakes a punch or movement to deceive their opponent. The purpose of a feint is to trigger a reaction, forcing the opponent to move or defend in a way that creates an opening for a real attack. Feints can come in many forms. A fighter might fake a jab to get their opponent to raise their guard, only to strike break with a powerful body shot instead. Now others use footwork and head movement to give the illusion of an attack, throwing off their opponent's timing and defense. Legendary boxers like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, and Vasil Lomachenko are known for their brilliant use of feints, keeping opponents guessing and controlling the pace of the fight. Next time you watch a boxing match, pay very close attention to the subtle feints. They're a sign of a true ring strategist and can be the difference between winning and losing in a fight. It's time for our off-court buzzer. Let's look into the latest buzz around F1. The FIA has approved a proposal to mandate 2 pit stops for the Monaco Grand Prix regardless of weather conditions. Mandating all drivers to make 2 pit stops is expected to increase strategy variations and unpredictability, potentially spicing up the action on track. Drivers are already required to use 2 different tire compounds in dry conditions. And this new rule further ensures teams will have to adapt to changing race dynamics. Known as the jewel in the crown of Formula One, Monaco's narrow streets have made overtaking extremely difficult, particularly since the 2017 car regulation changes that increased vehicle width. The new pit stop mandate aims to create opportunities for position changes through pit strategy rather than relying solely on errors or safety cars. The 2025 Monaco Grand Prix will be round 8 of the Formula One season, taking place from May 23 to 25. With this rule change, all eyes will be on how teams and drivers adapt to the new strategic demands of the world's most prestigious street circuit. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 27th of February. When we return, world-class high-performance coach Erwin Valencia will talk about how it is to collaborate with some of the planet's best athletes. So watch out for that when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. He is the first Filipino to be a part of the medical team of 2 of the biggest sports leagues in the world, Major League Baseball and the NBA, a trailblazing innovator in the field of high-performance coaching. Erwin Valencia joins us tonight to talk about what it takes to bring out greatness in some of the planet's best athletes and how we can use some of his techniques to enhance our daily lives. Coach Erwin, thank you so much for the time.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Maraming salamat. Alam mo, the past 24 hours, I've been watching different interviews that you've had. It's all online, guys. So kung anong flavor ang feeling nyo at the time, just check it out. I don't know where to start because you have such an amazing and colorful life. But in your Instagram, when you go to @ErwinB Valencia, the first thing you're going to see is E, aka Godfather of Gratitude. What is the Godfather of Gratitude? What does that mean?
You know what it is? Kasi I think for a long time, as Pinoys, we think we're born and raised with gratitude in our hearts. Na parati tayo nagpapasalamat for everything we have, especially with the typhoons that go on, the earthquakes, that we're alive all the time. And for me, it's something I've embodied really so much that when I've gone abroad and been able to be successful in my career, I always stop and think that how lucky I am to be doing what I'm doing, but also finding a way to then inspire others with that. And so initially I wanted to put Kuya of gratitude, but it doesn't sound too well. But in fact, I'm also a ninong of so many kids apparently. I tried to list down who I'm a ninong of. Sorry guys if I haven't given you a Christmas gift in a long time. But so I said, but a ninong godfather, and let's make it, because ninong doesn't sound good. So I think what happened is that a friend started to call me, you're you're a godfather, dude. You're a godfather, everybody's godfather or big bro, and you love gratitude. So we just combined that. So it eventually stuck. So.
So yung mga inaanak ni Ninong Erwin, nandito siya sa Pilipinas na yan, ha? Okay. Obviously, for so many years, we were so proud of you as being the first Filipino doctor in the NBA. But you've had some humble beginnings as well. Born in New Jersey, grew up in Davao. As somebody who eventually had the world's most famous arena as his personal playground, what was your life like growing up in Davao?
I mean, it was simple. I mean, I have such fond memories of being in the soccer field of Ateneo de Davao and sliding in the mud and the dirt, but also going to the fence where they would sell mga spiders, and we would get spiders in the matchbox and have spiders fight each other on a barbecue stick, and then playing Jolens and just biking around. I mean, those were just times that were so innocent and nice, and you felt like talaga nasa probinsya ka, like being in Davao. Of course, Davao now is such a it's a mega city already, and traffic is so bad now, but back in the day, it was just a beautiful life.
Teka, Coach, so Atenista ka pala?
Well, we'll take it easy. Atenista ako, La Salle yan because of Isabel, and then I went to UP. So, trifecta yan.
Yeah. Coach, going back to your Instagram account, you say you're a high-performance coach to athletes, artists, and CEOs. So, what's that like, you know? Dati, when you were with the Knicks, it was just athletes.
Yeah.
But it seems that you ventured out into also being a coach for artists and CEOs.
Yeah, even when I was in the Knicks, I was helping a lot of my friends and colleagues in the performance space, in the artistic space. So I've been a dancer for a long time. I was a b-boy when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
And I started getting introduced to ballroom dancing when I was 14 here, and then eventually I got into like street salsa and stuff like that. And so I became really good friends with a lot of people who are instructors. And as they've gone through and tried to increase their, you know, their circles, I found myself coaching them and saying like, hey, don't just stick to dancing. Think about maybe going to personal growth, having an element of understanding the difference between masculinity and femininity for the women, or even from a business standpoint, go somewhere else. Spend more time with people who are maybe in tech, like with Facebook or Google. Go to these conferences so you're not just a dancer, but rather, you know, a global entrepreneur in sense. And then same thing with CEOs. I think CEOs and artists are just like athletes. They all perform at a high level. And for them to perform at a high level, they have to also find balance. And so I've been able to be that bridge for them.
Coach, you talk a lot about having a vision, seeing the path, and manifesting. So let's do a little bit of manifesting here on the show. Give me names of somebody that you would like to coach. Let's start with an athlete. Yung hindi mo pa nako-coach, ah. Like a dream athlete that you would like to coach.
For me, Simone Biles.
Okay, why?
Because Simone Biles has become an icon in the world of the Olympics, or in gymnastics, or in athleticism in general. But she's going through that phase of her life where she's probably going to retire soon. If not after this Olympics, probably the next. So she'll only be like 25. So who will Simone Biles be when she's 30, when she's 35? And I'm sure there's going to be some transitions going on in her life that even though there are some moves na nakapangalan sa kanya, she's not going to be that person anymore. So she's going to go through some things. So, you know, that would be a dream for me to support her as she's going through that transition.
Alam ko hindi ka na sa starstruck madalas. Si Coach na starstruck lang sa dalawang tao, Phil Jackson at Michael Jordan. Pero sa mga artists and CEO, who would you like to coach? Give me an artist and a CEO.
I mean, from an artist perspective, I think working with somebody like maybe locally, like Lea Salonga. And I say that because she's been able to pivot multiple times and transform her career accordingly. But there's going to be times and situations where maybe she needs support in, where is she making the right decisions, or where is she going? Does she want to expand in a different way? And those are the types that I like to look for, people in transition. And from a CEO standpoint, I mean, Jeff Bezos, I mean, somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, anyone in the big five, I guess, if you must. Speaking of Musk, I was very lucky to meet Elon Musk when he was only $10 billion worth, and now he's 250, 300. But I guess these guys are really people that push the envelope, and would be a dream for me to work with them.
Coach, I want to ask you something about being a part of the New York Knicks. This was your dream. You were living the dream for almost a decade. You're dealing with larger-than-life athletes, Carmelo Anthony, D. Rose, Amari Stoudemire, and then later on, Jalen Brunson. I'm just curious, kasi ang lalaki ng mga to eh. Napapanood mo sa TV, nakikita mo sa advertisement. Is there like an intimidation factor when, you know, you're gonna coach these guys?
For me, not really. I think I look at each player as a human being. And so I think that's the difference. number one, I'm not starstruck by them, so I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of their work and what they do, but I'm not a fanboy. Because for me, I just see them as individual athletes and talents and skills, and I'm there just to purely support how they can be better at that. And so for me, it was all about just seeing them for who they are and asking them, what is this I can do to make them better, not just as an athlete, but as a human being.
Has there ever been a situation wherein nag-away? Kasi ngayon, uso yung locker room stories. Was there ever a situation in New York where players had beef with each other and you had to step in and kind of like mediate and pacify the situation?
I mean, there's a chain of command when that goes. It's usually the head coach that deals with, normally it's security first, and then coach, and then assistant coach. Or usually security, assistant coaches, head coach, and then I'm usually the last one. And I say that because I think we are somewhat discouraged to be involved in anything, and we always want the guys, and usually it's like whoever the team captain is, he's usually the person that really tries to start mediating that, because for us, what we do is we're there obviously for their well-being, their wellness, and their performance, and so for us, as long as whatever happens in the locker room, it's theirs to sort out. We're just merely there. Hopefully nothing happens on the physical side that we have to then fix, so to speak.
Erwin, watching a lot of your interviews these past 24 hours, the main thing that I got was you're somebody who has achieved his dream. And this is something that the universe helped you to achieve as well. Napakaganda ng storya. But what happens next after a person achieves his dream? What's the next goal in life?
You evolve. You figure out what the next dream is. And you ask yourself, how can this next dream now create an even bigger impact than the one you just had? I mean, obviously for me, as an 18-year-old kid, going to the NBA was everything for me. And when I got there, I asked myself, who am I doing this for? Sa akin ba para to, or for more people? And then so when I got there, it was real for me that I said, I'm here because I am now a symbol of inspiration for millions of kids in the Philippines to be able to get to where they get to.
Kasi minsan may mga tao na pag na-achieve na yung goal, medyo nagre-relax kasi okay na ako, na-achieve ko na. But this is something new, this is great perspective that there is something else and that you have to evolve. And come March 9, March 8 and 9, you have a high-performance masterclass, the first of its kind here in the Philippines. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this masterclass is really a culmination of my 25 years in the world that I live in, and particularly 20 years in elite sport, and to be able to bring all the concepts, physical, mental, and even spiritual, to find anyone that needs it and support, that needs that support, whether, once again, you're an athlete, you're a leader, you're even a government official, especially with the Olympics going on, with the elections going on. I said Olympics, we were talking about Simone Biles. And then even who are people who are artists also, or because everyone still has to find a way to get that support, even if they don't know it sometimes, pushing themselves to get a little bit more resilient. That's why we include things like the ice plunge, like the ice bath, but also a circle of gratitude, but also some movement and mindful movement to understand how your body works. And it really is a culmination of everything. So I'm excited to have anyone who is, who feels like this is something that they would want for the experience, to join me. This is on March 8th and 9th at the Pace Prehab and Recovery Center in BGC. And it's going to be a 2-day experience, but then there's 2 more days afterwards para mag-check-in kung nagdadaya ka o hindi.
All right, with that last message to everybody watching, what is your... Because you have these short videos, these snackable videos that you use to motivate people. What is tonight's words of wisdom from Erwin Valencia?
If anything else, dream to inspire others. We're placed on this earth for a purpose that sometimes we don't know, but when that purpose becomes clear, follow through, because it will transform lives.
And with that, thank you so much, Coach E, for coming here to the Scorecard.
My pleasure.
Maraming salamat and best of luck this coming March 8 and 9.
Thank you very much.
When the scorecard returns, we will break down Luka Doncic's performance during his first face-off with his former team, the Dallas Mavericks, and the telltale signs to watch out for that could just give a glimpse of what may lie ahead so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Luka Magic put on a show as the Lakers dominated the Mavericks. So, as always here on the show, kailangan natin pag-usapan yan. Let's begin. This was not just an ordinary regular season game. This wasn't even your standard revenge game. No. This was the ultimate what the hell were they thinking game? Luka Doncic versus the Dallas Mavericks. The first time, the first showdown. And man, did he deliver. I mean, you could feel it from the jump. Luka came in with a kind of energy that says, I've had this date circled on my calendar since the second that one night call dropped, that bombshell trade. And let's be real, so did every basketball fan on the planet. 2.5 million viewers tuned in, the biggest non-opening night game for this season, and that tells you everything. So what did we get? We got a lot of step backs and the first triple-double as a Laker, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists. It wasn't his most efficient shooting night, but who cares? He was everywhere. He controlled the game. He made the right plays. And oh yeah, he also threw one of the most ridiculous, no-look over-the-shoulder assists we've seen all year. Austin Reeves. It's like he knew the ball was gonna come right to him. Sobrang galing. Because that's what Luka does. He turns guys like Reeves into folk heroes. And let's talk about those thank you, Nico chants. Thank you, Nico! Oh man, Laker fans made sure Mavs GM Nico Harrison heard it. It started after Luka's first three-pointer and just kept going. And oh yeah, he drilled it from way downtown, then turned to the Mavericks bench with an ice-cold stare. Yeah! I just did that. Ganon yung energy. Now here's the thing. The Mavs did not roll over. Kyrie Irving and company made things competitive. Brought it back in the third quarter, but when it mattered, when the game was on the line, Luka, he had the last laugh. LeBron kicked in a little I'm still the king sequence. Of course, he's the king. Pero syempre, the Lakers just had to close it out. That was the bottom line. 107-99 was the final score. Third straight win. And that's what contenders do. Yes, contenders. Pwede na natin silang tawaging contenders with the way things have been going. They finish games and listen, I don't harp or want to harp on this too much, trade too much, but again, what were the Mavs thinking? Luka for Anthony Davis. Okay, I get it. AD, when he's healthy, he's a top 10 guy. But Luka is a generational superstar, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of player. You don't trade that guy. You figure it out. You build around him. But instead, what did Dallas do? They decided to hand him to a team that already had LeBron, a team that had depth and just needed another playmaker. Now, they have one of the best duos in the league and they're only going to get better. At wag nating kalimutan, the real showdown is still coming. Ayan. Markahan nyo na po ang inyong mga kalendaryo. April 10, Luka returns to Dallas. That game is gonna be an event. I'm talking about insane ticket prices, monster TV ratings, and an arena full of Mavs fans who are going to have to sit there and watch Luka torch them in their own building. It's going to be brutal, especially because there are a lot of injuries right now. So tapusin na natin to. Luka got his revenge. The Lakers are rolling, and Nico Harrison, well, he might want to avoid X, formerly called Twitter, for a while because in the annals of NBA all-time bad trades, this one is going to be up there. That's if they don't win a championship this year or the next 2 years to come. But let's stay tuned for that. Because something tells me that this Lakers team is just getting started. And that wraps up tonight's preview so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From a Filipino wushu athlete and multi-medalist in the SEA Games, Asian Games, and World Wushu Championships, Agatha Wong, she once said, "You need to experience losing first before you win." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.